One of the hardest things that we find to answer, or the most complex or ambiguous thing that we see when answering a question that says, but what about this? What happens when the second coming and we have our birth in our new bodies? And what happens with all this like mental illness and physical illness stuff? Like, how do we talk about that, especially with the young people in our lives and even others in our lives? Like, what do we do with that? And I'll offer you a couple things. Number one, hope is a universal word. Every language has, every culture has hope. Now, there are things that we hope for in things like some cultures have idols that they hope in, family members that they hope in, things that they hope in. But it's interesting in our faith, as those followers of Jesus, we have this eternal hope that is so unique, that is so different, yet so real than anything else. Whenever I talk about hope, I always think it's interesting because hope is one of those things that I know where my hope comes from. And it's difficult sometimes to understand where someone else's hope comes from if they don't believe the same thing that I believe. And it's amazing to me because I'm like, how can you get through life without that hope that something new is going to happen, that something is going to change? And what we want to do often is actually just say, everything's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. When we don't know that it's going to be all right, other than his coming, the rebirth. And I think it's interesting for us as people who hold firm to this faith, as we talk to our young people, as we talk to those that we're encircled around, that we profess that hope. Where does your hope come from? Where does my help come from? Where does my hope come from? Hope doesn't disappoint us. The hope that we know as believers does not disappoint. So when we're navigating these things of mental illness and the things of that bringing suffering, pain, or hurts, if we believe and trust in that hope, doesn't mean those things will automatically go away right now. It means that I have the ability to navigate and journey with hope through this trial, with hope through this pain. Many of our liturgical churches have a time of passing of the peace. And I would encourage you, if you're part of one of those congregations, and even if you're not, we may have like a greeting time at our churches. But I would encourage you to have an opportunity of what we call passing the hope. And how this is done is that you would let someone know, my life would not be the same without you. I'm so glad you're here. Hope be with you.